Welcome. I'm Lela Kelly from Dosatron International. We've been asked to do a short video for you to help you understand how the Dosatrons can work with Daniel's fertilizer in the Armstrong Garden Centers. What this video will do for you is to make it very simple and very easy for you to understand if the Dosatron's working, if it's stirring up any fertilizer, and what do you do in case you have a problem. This is the older style model of cart that you are currently using in most of the Armstrong Garden Centers. This cart comes with a 12-gallon stock tank, and it's on a metal cart. These are no longer available, but we do have a newer style cart that I'll show you in a moment. This cart probably has our older style Dosatron on it, which is the 11-gallon per minute DI-16. That information is right on the front of your unit. If you don't have this model, you may have the newer style model of the 14-gallon a minute, which is also, all that information is here for the D14 MZ2. I'm going to show you now how you're going to pour some of your fertilizer to make sure you have enough fertilizer in your stock tank. When your stock tank is empty on this style cart, on the 12-gallon tank, you can see that there is no liquid inside just by looking at it because it's transparent. All you would need to do is unscrew the lid, pull it to the side, and now we're going to take the Daniel's fertilizer, which is this container right here, unscrew it, and pour the Daniel's fertilizer right into the tank. I'm not going to do that for obvious reasons right now, but all you need to do is take this container, pour it into here, and you fill up this container with Daniel's. At that point, you push your suction hose back down into the stock tank with the Daniel's and screw on the lid. And you're ready to go again. The Dosatron will automatically pull up the Daniel's fertilizer. At the beginning of your day, you would have to take out your Dosa cart. This is the new style that we're going to. This cart has the new 14-gallon per minute on it. And in order to get the Dosatron ready for your use with the Daniel's fertilizer, you would want to make sure that you take a garden hose and you're going to hook it up to a hose spigot in the garden center. Obviously, you have to bring water into the Dosatron. It'll move through the filter, through the Dosatron, and the minute that happens, it will start clicking, and I'll show you that in a moment. On the outbound side, we're going to hook up a garden hose here, and that's going to be the garden hose that you will be applying the fertilizer through on all the flowers in the garden center. The other part of this is to make sure that you're going to have fertilizer there. Daniel's fertilizer comes in a container that looks just like this. It's very easy to handle. What I do recommend is to open up the container and pull out the inside plastic container of the Daniel's. Now notice, you can see I've only put a little bit of Daniel's in here, but normally this would be filled to the top with a brown liquid, which is the Daniel's. At that point, it slides right onto the cart here, fits right into this new cart perfectly, so you don't have any mixing, you don't have any pouring at this point. You unscrew the cover, you take the suction hose from the Dosatron, which comes with a little screen with little weights, and you feed that down into the Daniel's container. This should go right to the bottom because the little weights will hold it down there for you. So now you're all set for your day. You want to get the fertilizing going, you want to get that watering going. All you need to do is turn on your hose spigot to get water to come into the Dosatron. And then we're going to turn our garden hose on, which for these purposes I'm just doing here in the sink. Once I turn that garden hose on, it starts the Dosatron working. You can hear it clicking. If you do not hear any clicking, the motor has a problem and there is no suction of fertilizer. If you don't hear it click, you're going to need to be calling us, and I'll go over that in a moment with you as well. So it's going pretty slowly, so it's going to take a moment for this to draw up the fertilizer. It will prime itself immediately when you put it into the Daniel's solution. Here it comes. here, if you see that there is the brown solution is coming right up into the dosatron, priming itself, mixing with the incoming water, and sending it out into your garden hose. It's a very simple way to apply fertilizer through that garden hose. The other thing you want to be checking is to make sure that your injection rate is always set at 1 to 500 for the Daniels fertilizer. 1 to 500 is the recommended setting from the manufacturer of Daniels, and you need to be looking at that. You can see it very simply on this model. Now if the dosatron is clicking, but you don't see anything going down here in your stock solution, in other words, you seem to be fertilizing, but you didn't see anything going through there. If you just take this and pull it out of the solution, you can see that the dosatron is actually drawing solution up. But if you don't see that happening, it means that there's a problem in the lower end, and it's time to do some maintenance. So if the unit's clicking but not sucking any solution, it's time to put a seal kit in the lower end. The seal kit looks just like this, and on the inside of this kit you'll find complete directions in both English and Spanish, so nobody has any problem with being able to read the directions and follow those directions for a couple of little parts that we put inside this little bag. This maintenance should be done about once a year, and if you do that, you really shouldn't run into any problems making sure that the dosatron is injecting properly. It is extremely important that you keep an eye on your stock container of Daniels. The nice thing about this container is that you can actually see how much Daniels you have in there. As you see it starting to draw down like this, it's time to think about getting another container. The dosatron can run without any solution in the container, but obviously that's not a good thing because you're not applying any fertilizer when you're watering in the garden center. So as you walk past this cart, or maybe at the beginning of your day, you look at this container and see how much Daniels you have in there so you can keep an eye on it. In some of your garden centers, you have a dosatron 20 gallon a minute. This one is not portable, and you will not see this on a cart. This would be installed in the water line, usually somewhere in the back of the garden center. This will feed several of your hoses through your water lines. And this would be placed on the wall. It would be all plumbed in. This would not have portability, but that's okay because it will allow you to draw fertilizer and pick up a garden hose wherever it may be. If you have this model, again, you'd have that information right on here with the model number so that you could call us should you have a problem with it, or if you need a seal kit for it, we will ask you for that model number. At the end of your day in the garden center, you want to think about just taking the dosatron and moving it out of the way when you're done with all your watering and fertilizing, so that customers, it wouldn't be in their way, and certainly they can't be touching the dosatron because sometimes customers like to adjust things. You know how that can be. What I would do at that point is unhook it from the hose spigot. You can take your garden hose and you can wrap it around the back of this and just carry it off to the back and put it away so it's out of sight and it's ready for the next day. There's really nothing you have to do with it as far as flushing it out or cleaning it. The dosatron will take care of that. So just to recap for a moment, if your dosatron is not clicking, you're going to need to call us here in Clearwater, Florida. All that information is on the dosatron. The 800 number is right here. It's also on the front of all of our units. All that contact info, the 800 number is right there. We're on East Coast time, so be careful that for California time to us, you're about a 3-hour difference. Once you call that number, you can get people to help you in the service department or the customer service department, and they're willing to answer any questions you may have. It's a very simple process. If you need to order a seal kit can be ordered the same way by calling the 800 number, and we'll be happy to get those out to you. I would put this on your maintenance schedule. Someone be responsible for it in the garden center. About once a year, if you change this, you should have no problems with the dosatrons at all. So thank you so much for your attention. And please let us know if we can help you in the future. Thank you.